I'm Ros Lamont. I'm the Executive Director at Culture Republic.
I'm Andy Catlin. I'm the Marketing Manager at the Queen's Hall, and together we worked on creating a Facebook ticketing application.
Well, from Culture Republic's point of view, we've been working on the last 5 or 6 years on a portal project which has connected box offices across the city onto a website, so there's a shopping basket opportunity for customers. Having cracked the technology of that, we were really keen to use that as a test bed for other ways of getting people to use technology to buy tickets. And we looked around, discussed with partners, and came up with the notion, as Andy says, of using Facebook. Maybe you want to say a little bit more about the specifics of that.
Yeah, we're a music venue predominantly, so we do about 200 shows a year, and obviously there's a very strong overlap between social networking, Facebook specifically, and music audiences. So for us it was an opportunity of having an additional sales channel that would ideally drive more business to the hall.
When the project was first discussed, I was working for an Edinburgh-based organisation, the Audience Business, and it was a subscription-based organisation, so we have membership or subscription from a whole range of arts organisations across the city. We operated the portal, we operated the Click It website to support integrated ticketing across the city. When we came up with the notion of using Facebook, we were looking for one of our partner organisations, our subscribers, that ideally sold through Enter, because that's a box office system that's fairly easy to work with in this context. We also wanted a venue that had a wide range of repertoire, and ideally one where the individual audiences for that repertoire were active on Facebook. So that's why we really picked up on Andy in the Queen's Hall. The Queen's Hall are also very comfortable with working digitally, so that was really important for us. We also knew that the Fringe had begun to explore Facebook ticketing. There was an appetite for exploring that across the arts organisations that we work with. Nesta provided an opportunity for us on behalf of that wider constituency to trial it, so it seemed just serendipitous, I think, from our perspective. One of the tech partners is Ingresso, and they operate TicketSwitch middleware, and that supports the whole portal Click It integrated ticketing operation. It links individual box offices into a single channel, a single feed for ticketing. So they were given really to make this work. Maybe Andy would like to say something about the other technical partner.
And then in terms of working with Whitespace as a local agency, they had provided the Fringe's Facebook ticketing in previous years, but that's just only to one system. So we knew that they were comfortable with it, the technology, and both some of the changes that are going to have occurred within Facebook. So both by them being very skilled in this area and being local, which we think is an important aspect of the tech partner relationship, they were definitely towards the top of the list of people that we would have considered for this. Within the budget restraint, it wasn't something that I think we speculatively wanted to invite a group of tech partners. We wanted somebody who had a known set of skills and expertise in that area.
So I think there's more of a partnership, certainly, in terms of discussion and development, but there was also a supplier-contractor relationship with Whitespace in particular. They had produced an implementation budget which had contingency built in that they gave us, and that formed the backbone of the expenditure around the project. They delivered what they said they were going to deliver. We used the contingency to iron out some of the technical glitches that nobody could have foreseen before it went live. End of project, really.
I think from the majority of projects, we didn't allocate enough resources to its marketing. So the marketing, we've done it through obviously all our own social channels, our traditional channels like print brochures, advertising, display material within our building. And then Culture Republic took on a set of detailed, specific campaigns to test a variety of Facebook advertising channels, which has been incredibly useful in terms of, I think, not only for us as an organisation, but for other people. It is the bedrock of being able to tell other organisations, this is what the techniques that you can use on Facebook, and these are the techniques that are the most successful. I think there's still a lot of gaps in the cultural sectors, working knowledge of how Facebook advertising works and what's most effective, especially in organisations of our scale or smaller. So that was a process that took place at the back end of the project within the last 3 or 4 months, and we've just received the data back on that, which again we're more than happy to share with other people, because I think that is one of the critical outcomes. Is it's all well and good building a product, but if you're not in a position to promote it after that, it'll die on the vine. Advantages: massive targeted audiences. They have mind-blowing amounts of data on their users. I mean, and it's something within the arts, or especially ticketed environments, where we have a significant amount of data about our existing customers. It's something that we can integrate with. The flip side is that we have no control over what they do. And for the last 100 years, newspapers have been published, and it was like, I'll take an advert there, and you knew what you were going to get. Facebook is like the newspaper decides to change every other week, and they will give you no warning of this, and there will be no advance heads up. And it is now increasingly driven by a commercial imperative. And if you're not going to be spending money with Facebook, one of the principal outcomes of this has been to completely reevaluate our relationship with as an organisation. That if you're not spending money with them, you've got to be cautious about the amount of effort that you place into that platform. Because why are you going to encourage people, your potential audiences, to follow, like you, on a platform where you then have to rent that interest back from them? That seems insane to me, that we spend all this time investing in our own websites and own email lists. And in the last few years, I'm not saying we've abandoned that, but the focus has been strongly about moving people to other social destinations, because we saw there was a real advantage there. That in the future will become less and less powerful. And I think that in the cultural sector, we've left ourselves exposed to a degree by that movement towards chasing other people's platforms. That's a little bit like asking somebody to buy The Guardian because we've got an advert in it. That seems crazy to me. It's a straight up and down business decision, so it will be, what would this earn us in the future? That's always been, as an organisation that is majority self-funded, it's always about cash and prizes to us. So if this doesn't have some really tangible economic benefit, and that could be about, actually I've got 10,000 extra Facebook fans and therefore I can use that in the future to generate more business. It doesn't have to be about selling a bunch of extra tickets through Facebook, or I can reduce the amount of box office staff I have because we are selling through Facebook now. It could be any one of those outcomes, but if none of those come to the table, then I would be very skeptical about us continuing the development of it.